Thanks for
Uh,
being here, everybody. Oh, and here is Zelda. She has decided to join.
hey,
Uh,
Zelda. Zelda has
I'll
the same
probably
coloring as Zuni.
Zuni is beautiful. I love when you share the pictures of Zuni.
Zelda, you're a beauty. Yeah, yeah. I've got a kitty right here beside me, but if I wake her up, she'll just hog the whole show.
Yeah,
Hi, everyone. Hello. John, Frank, James, Anita, Dale, Lynn, Ann.
we're gonna be having a
Welcome.
good talk today. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to chat. Uh, Talk about some more subjects. Uh, Spirituality and self-care and that kind of thing. Good time for a chat like this.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. I mean, it's a long slog. Doesn't mean we're going to give up.
No, you can't.
I mean, sometimes we have to take extra care of ourselves, right? Hey,
Yeah.
Tracy, Larry, Barb, Jean, hello. Hit the heart button, everyone. Let us know you're here. Arthur, hello. Peg, good to see you guys. Yeah, Chris and I have
Yeah.
been talking, and I mean, it's tough seeing the news come at you, just lambasting you with crap, right? Also, there's life. Stuff happens, stuff that hurts. Sometimes we have losses that are near unbearable. We have to have tools and we have to have each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah, building resilience. I mean, that's something I think about a lot is the personal and the meta, the collective unconscious, the personal unconscious, the identity, and us trying to integrate all of these into a healthy, self-directed, purposeful state of being. I try to communicate. I'm actually in the next few days, I'm going to be releasing a journal, a prompt journal, for folks, and it's called. Uh, I rebel because we exist. Kind of a play on some of Albert Camus' The Rebel.
Yeah,
And
you've been
so
you've
yeah,
been getting into Camus and Kierkegaard and everyone else. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
What?
that's the heart of the existentialist republic. I've started talking about this more. I feel like for the last 7 or 8 months, my focus has wholly been on um, the meat and potatoes of policy and activism and legislation. And now I'm getting to shift a little bit more into the holistic approach of what it is to, if I want to help defeat fascism, I need to take care of myself and do what it takes to align all the different layers that make a me towards those goals.
Yeah, and if you're going to defeat fascism, it's not going to be alone. We're going to need each other. We have a comment in the chat. Um, Certainly a good topic. Believe I have been clinically depressed for a while now. Need community to get through this. I mean, that's one of the things I fall back on is friends. I have friends from my whole life back, from my childhood, and I can always turn to them and get like a hit refresh thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, there's a ton of evidence showing, like, really robust science that when we feel that we're surrounded by people who love us and care for us and will support us, and we do the same for them, as Albert Camus said, we feel worse for the person who gives no love than the person who receives no love. And that really is the heart of it. The robust science shows that you are healthy when you have connection with other humans. A human isn't meant to exist in solitude. From what I've seen with a lot of people clinically, is that when they say, I just want to live in the woods and go fishing and not be around other humans, a lot of those people have such deep trauma that they associate interpersonal interactions with pain, which is unfortunate because it's a disorder in the same way that someone who has disordered eating habits, you need food, you need nourishment, but you will become through different experience and different types of trauma, you'll become misaligned with your relationship with food. And we need to stay aligned with our relationship with humanity because it's just, like I said, robust empirical evidence that if you want to be a healthy, happy human, you need to be in a school of humans, a pack of humans.
Yeah, and maybe some four-leggeds too. I mean, you're a cat dad. I'm a wolf and a cat mom. I mean, they bring us so much joy, just so much joy. Oh, you got the orange fur ball now. So bergamot oil, right, Barb? Is it fair to drink Earl Grey tea? Because I drink Earl Grey tea a lot. It's got bergamot oil in it.
I
Look
like
at all
that.
these comments here. I think James Tallarico is a good example of being able to fight fascism with love. You know, we all need to be warriors for love. And we were talking about this the other night, Chris, because when something happens in our lives, it's so out of our control that even the best self care, it stuns us, it hurts us deeply. We need that kind of love around us. We need a community of love warriors. And we need to remember that we're love warriors too. Love's the tool.
Well, and I
Love.
want to say, love is not passive. Love is an action. I mean, it's an innate state, but it is not passive and it can motivate us and it can fill us. I mean, when are you more filled with uh, energy and enthusiasm and courage than when you're acting out of love for the defense of others? When is an animal more dangerous than any other point? They're more dangerous when they are
Their
trying to
babies are under
defend,
threat. Yeah. Yeah. Mamas
and
with
they will
babies.
be.
That's how I am
Yeah.
with my wolf cub and my kitty. You know, one of the things that I think we really focused on the other night too is ceremony. I mean, sometimes an event in our lives or just a gathering of people that we care about deserves some ceremonies, you know, some resonance from drums or bells or gongs or just humming or singing or just sitting quietly together. I think that energy comes up when you make room for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I hope to show people that, being spiritual and being connected to others doesn't have to be antithetical to being research backed and oriented towards a pursuit of objective reality and objective truths. And so for me, I look at how, like, for example, drumming, participating in a drum circle or dancing with somebody or singing with others, and how that aligns our breath and it aligns our sense of connection with others. Our heartbeat starts to sync with theirs and we feel closer to them and our brain starts releasing dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. This is part of why militaries, for as of all of recorded history, they march in unison, they sing songs in unison. We desperately need community, and so much of the pain that we're facing now is because we have fallen away from a lot of those things that are primal, but empirical, also empirically supported, that we need them to stay connected with one another and to be empathetic, kind warriors for justice.
Yeah, and I think too, I mean, if you look at the protests that are happening, like in Minneapolis, the thing that happens when everybody gets together, big cat energy there. That cat has a raccoon tail. And you know, it's when they start to chant, you know, whatever the chant is, it's like this sort of unified rhythm comes out of it that's emphatic about what their objective is. Look at those eyes. Pale green? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm I'm gonna get my cat up if you don't stop that. She's right here in this little thing beside me. So let's see,
Well,
find some joy in the moment as we can while not being oblivious to the reality that is happening around us in our nation today. A hard task, right?
and two quotes from Albert Camus that come to mind are, the most powerful way to fight back in an unfree world are to live freely. And the other one is, Oh gosh, now I forgot the second quote, but it was in my mind a second ago. But the idea is, yeah, if you wanna fight back in it go ahead.
You know, when you were talking about music too, I've told people this and they look at me a little bit like I'm crazy, but I do an essay in my, Substack, and then I do a podcast version. It's curated from the essay, but I get all kinds of voices from the community, and I get sound effects, and then I put my own music to it. And there is something about the music part of it, even if it's a dark podcast, like, I don't know how many, I've probably done 6 on the Epstein files and survivors and the network of crime that I mean, that's a dark, dark subject, but when I start putting it to music, I mean, when I get done with the podcast, I feel like I cleaned up a mess. Does that make sense? I do. I feel like that, it was a mess in my mind. I was trying to make sense of how to feel about it, how we all feel about it. And just trying to put that into that podcast and then putting it to music. I mean, I'm elated afterwards. I'm joyful because I'm speaking out in a way that might just, you know, enter somebody's eardrums as a rhythm they can understand. Look at this.
Yeah.
Hearing others' life stories as I travel makes me feel connected and amazed at their survival. It gives me hope. Wow. Right?
Yeah, yeah, it's really beautiful. It makes me I figured I remembered the second, Camus quote as well, which
Mm.
was, "Live and create, and live to the point of tears," and that when we pursue artistic vision and appreciation another Camus quote is, "The greatest gift we can give to the future is, by giving ourselves fully to the moment, to the present." And that's another one, this is how we fight fascism. I got news for you guys. They're all integrated with each other. Finding peace while being a warrior, finding tenacity, finding clarity, finding strength, building that within yourself in the face of an unfair, cruel, unjust world, saying the laws may be unjust, or the leaders of these nations may be unjust, but I will not tolerate injustice. And that's more the work of Albert Camus in his book The Rebel, which is my favorite by him, as he said that meaning, as far as he could tell, does not predate or exist a priori to life, to existence. And that is the absurd, right? Is that we're created with this need inside of us for meaning, clearly, but the universe does not just hand you that meaning. So that gap between, hey, we have a need, but we don't have it already existing. That is the absurd. And what do you do about that? You create meaning, you finding. But in the rebel, Camus talks about how, imagine a slave, and this slave says, I have been transgressed against, but I'm drawing a line. No more. No more of this will be tolerated, not just against me, but against others. And he said, so there is a deeper meaning. There is a greater meaning that is present within us when we acknowledge that we have an inherent right to live, and we should defend the rights even of people we don't know to exist and to find a purposeful, meaningful, happy existence. And even if the people who founded this country were very often slave owners, they still wrote, we hold these rights to be self-evident that all men are created equal, and no perfect human has existed, but to the varying degrees, people have put out ideas about finding that north star towards truth, justice, a free and fair world, equality, equity. And when you align yourselves towards that, in that place, you will find courage, you will find enthusiasm, you will find strength that you didn't know about, but it was there all along.
The philosopher speaks. That was great. I'm loving all your involvement with the existential theologians and philosophers. For me, one of the things that comes from my tribal background is that I am an arrow into the future. That means I don't just exist for this moment alone, that I can't just, fulfill my, desires by whatever, shopping, eating, drinking, being with friends, or anything like that, but that my life is an arrow into the future, and that the things that I do now have ramifications for later, and so thinking of that is a really good thing to think about when we are working towards democracy, when we are working towards justice, that even the smallest thing is an arrow into the future, and a barrage of arrows is a pretty good fight, right?
Yeah, well, and I will say, like, the pointing in the moment, it makes me think about, today's gonna be a lot of existentialism. Soren Kierkegaard's quote that if anyone should make a decision based on potential future outcomes, they would never act at all, but what makes a hero is that they do the right thing then, not based off of what future may come, and that is, I see so much with the establishment and with the people who are unwitting controlled opposition who we have to help educate and bring to true action, that they say, well, if we make this move, then the Supreme Court's going to do that, and we can't prosecute Clarence Thomas for these crimes because then he's going to get pardoned by the Trump or this or that. No, do the right thing now, immediately, always, forever. As soon as you allow some political calculus or some expectations for the future to stop you from just acting towards truth, justice, and equity and freedom, as soon as you allow that future calculation to stop you from doing the right thing in this moment, then you are inhibiting future and you're not pointing towards justice. You're not pointing towards a better future. You do the right thing now and you don't rely on institutions to make justice. You make justice with whatever tools you have at your hand, at your disposal.
Look at these comments, Chris. Marsha Campbell, I'm a retired trauma psychotherapist, and I love that you two are talking about ritual, making space for ritual. After a day of being with my clients, I gently washed their teacups and teaspoons and my own. I was washing away the hate of the day, washing the wounds, and setting them up beautifully for the next day of healing. That's powerful, man. That is
Yeah,
powerful.
there's
I wanna talk about my
ritual.
team. I have a bunch of my team members on here. Our team is a community, it's a family. We are fierce fighters defending democracy and especially working toward justice. We work in the digital realm because we can, commune with more people there, and we have that set of skills, video making, essay writing, podcasting, and so on. But everyone brings a different gift to the table, and when we get together, it's really powerful. It's also sort of lovely because we laugh. We laugh, we work together, we collaborate, we hold one another up. And I think that helps so much in this moment when so much dark stuff is being pelted at us. You have a small team, right?
Oh yeah, I've got a couple people. Um, they approach where they can, when they can. Part of my ethos on organizational management is to be very non-hierarchical. Everybody shows up to the degree that they can. Also, we don't wait for people. Like we're going to keep doing the thing always. And when people can show up, they can. And if they don't show up, then we're just going to do it. We're going to find somebody else to do it, and that's okay too. But we keep trucking forward as a tribe, and that leaves a lot of space for people to just show up when they're ready, how they're ready, and when they need to step back, it's like, hey, that I mean, I see so much of, especially in the activist space, people really end up disappearing because of personality conflicts or because expectations become misaligned. And so there's kind of a radical consent that I try to engage with the existentialist republic team, with the folks who are doing the legislative work, with the folks who are doing the messaging work, the websites, the booklets, the research is just every moment. I mean, I think in all relationships and expectations of all kind, we always have the ability to withdraw consent towards that engagement and that situation, and then also you are welcome back when you're ready to come back, and that has served our team well as just allowing us to be the most effective amorphous blob. We're not an amorphous blob. We're a gas. and we fill up whatever space. We fill up whatever
You're
space we
ethereal.
have.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have no shame. We talk about it on our team as a seat at the table, that there's always a seat at the table for whoever wants to create with us. There's a seat at the table. But if you're not at the table at the time, that doesn't mean we're not gonna go ahead and create. We're gonna work. We're gonna work if there's 3 of us, we're gonna work if there's 14 of us. And that's a joyful thing because people have to come and go according to where they're at in their lives. What is going on with your tripod?
Sorry, I'm not doing a tripod today. I just have this little table. I decided just to go extra comfy. I wanted to be able to show the cats. I mean, today's a different vibe for the folks who don't know. If you read the recent post about the drum circle, it was, and actually, I shared the post about the drum circle with my mental health counselor at the VA, and she said she wants to get it sent out to a ton of the VA people on their email blast, which is pretty cool. And it's been I often don't share as much of my personal stuff, just because I want to keep the focus on the mission. But I want to work on engaging with the audience more and with the community more about how we holistically serve the movement. It's like I work out because I wanna be if there's a bad situation, I wanna be able to carry people out of a burning building. And that mindset that I had that drove me to want to become a law enforcement officer, and that drove me to wanna be a first responder, and that made me wanna take every single, first aid and emergency, and, like, tactical combat casualty care type course that I could in the military. That's the same mindset that drove me to say, "Okay, I need to try to eat 30 to 50 grams of fiber per day because that affects serotonin regulation, and serotonin regulation is gonna help my brain perform optimally and my body feel, as strong as possible to, bring the emotional aspect of what it takes towards engaging with trying to make the world a better place, is you make your inner world a better place at the same time you make your outer world a better place because they are one. It's not I'm gonna first do this, then do the other. It's they are the same thing.
I think what you're talking about too, I come from a background as a first responder too. I didn't go into life that way. I went a different way, but when I moved to a mountain community that was really rural, I mean, we weren't even incorporated, maybe 300 homes spread across a big mountain valley. We had frequent wildfires, and went down to the volunteer department one day when someone was there and said, "Hey, you need help?" And, the chief was right away, "Yeah, I mean, we've got all this information to get out to people about this fire." And I said, "I can do that. I'm a journalist. I can do information." And so I ended up training with the team and then going out with incident command teams on major wildfires. The thing about that is, and my husband and I both have it because when we see smoke now, we run toward it and we're excited. And it's really hard to quell that. We were on vacation in Montana, saw this big smoke plume and went, "I wonder if we have our stuff in the back," because we carry our stuff in the back all the time. Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, it's also this sort of joy of service, joy of giving, joy of being alive enough to, respond in the moment and not cower in fear or run away.
Yeah, well, and of what use is a life if we don't use it for good? Truly, feel bad, like I said about the Albert Camus quote earlier, um, feel pity for the one who does not give love, not the one who does not receive it. The one who does not receive or sorry, the one who does not receive it is not nearly as pitiable as the one who does not give it. And I if you can, just to mention, journaling is a really big part of my life. While we're releasing an existentialist prompt journal in the next few days, we have a journal on the existentialistrepublic.com, and it's just an existentialist republic journal. But part of what I journal about, I've got dozens of journals filled from my whole life, and that was a lot of how I dealt with my ADHD and that kind of thing in different environments. But so much of those journals is filled with asking myself the same questions hundreds of times. Who am I? Who do I want to be? How do I want to react? One of the things I did as a first responder that we were trained to do was to ask ourselves, imagine bad things happening and imagining the response you want to have to them. And I've seen research with professional athletes where they run through an exercise or a training thing, and I did it when I was a wrestler too. You imagine doing that thing, and you get about 80% of the neurophysiological benefit as if you were actually doing it physically. So, do you want to be someone who, when a bad thing is happening, you charge towards it to go help those in need? Do you want to be someone who helps fight fascism and restore democracy? Do you want to be someone who's in the fight for goodness and justice and equality and equity and all those things, who in the darkest days, as we see things continuing to get darker, for any Lord of the Rings fans out there, Frodo didn't know things were gonna work out. It sure seemed pretty unlikely. You show up because it's the right thing to do, and you get proud of yourself. You praise yourself. In my journals, I say I am deserving of my own respect because this is who I am. These are the things I've done. I'm proud of myself. When you show up, when you send a message to your governor, my nickname in high school was Frodo as well. But also that's because I was 4'11" with size 11 shoes. And my growth spurt only got me to 5'4". But Frodo was my nickname. But
May the hair on your toes never grow out, Chris.
oh, my people are definitely from Hobbiton, and I'm the hobbit that left Hobbiton, the oddball. But, and also I just want you guys to know I am reading these messages, and they're really beautiful, and I appreciate it,
I
and
mean,
so
some of
keep those
these are
coming.
almost bringing me to tears. One of the
Yeah.
things that we put on our list of things we want to talk about today was joy in the work we do. I mean, for me to write about the SAVE Act, is not a joyful thing as you think about it, but the work of trying to inform people that there is danger to our ability to vote, that they're trying to push back on women and people of color again and try to prevent us from voting by just making it more and more inconvenient, maybe even impossible. Doing that work, not pleasant maybe in the moment, but it does bring me joy to do it. I feel like I'm fulfilling a purpose. I feel like I'm doing good in the moment. And when finish an essay, when I finish a podcast, when we finish a video with our team and it's out there to other people, we have this moment of like that. And then we go on. We just do it again. We just do it again. And it's great to work with. We have young interns on our team. If you guys are still on here, I'm saying hi to you. Give us some hearts. Give us some hearts. Make some comments. And our interns are all over. They're on both coasts and in the Midwest. We have one in Estonia. So these people, we're helping them craft their skills, helping them develop, helping them learn how to do the work from essay to podcast to video so that they have all these formats they can work in. It's pretty exciting. So even though we're definitely battling evil, there's joy in that. There's joy in doing it together.
Yeah, well, there's not gonna be a world without evil right now, and that's just the fight. It doesn't just go away. But, one of the things I journal about, just like another journal prompt type thing to share with folks, is how do I want myself to feel when I do the things that I would like to be doing? So, why am I calling my governor today? Why am I filling out the attorney general contact form about X, Y, or Z? And then how do I want myself to feel about that action? Well, I'm contacting them because I want them to take action. And I know that this has an actual effect. It's cumulative. It's like, eating one salad doesn't make you healthy. It's all cumulative. And that's part of, and it doesn't end just because you hit like a specific, your cholesterol goes down. Cool, you're done eating healthy. That's over. You did it. No, it's the same with fighting fascism. Exact same thing. It's cumulative. It's a lifelong habit. So I think, okay, this is my daily, this is eating my vegetables. I'm contacting the governor before I mess around with some phone game. And, I do that every day. Just like I brush my teeth, twice a day if you can, maybe three times, right? And so you get that habit, and then you say, "How do I want myself to feel about it?" I'm gonna curse real quick, but I wanna feel like a badass. I wanna feel like someone who's making the world a better place. I wanna feel proud of myself. I wanna feel strong. I wanna feel invigorated, enthused, proud, and that light will shine, and it will light the way for others.
Well, it'll be reflected in your own life immediately. You look around, do you have good friends? I have good friends. Do you have good neighbors? I have good neighbors. That's a reflection of giving and taking with people that we love, people that we encounter, making sure that we're working in a community on their level and our level such that we are, resonating with things we can do together. And that's not always the same in every little cluster that we wander into. But for me, it's reflected in my life that the work that I do and the work that I see others do is sort of creating this ambient, sort of wonderful bubble. And it's not a bubble that other things can't come into or can't be penetrated from the outside. It's just what we have, what we share. And it feels good to share that. And everyone is welcome in who wants to share that.
Well, I don't think we're gonna be able to win without a joyful enthusiasm even when you're the mama bear who's like, "You're just going near my cub, so I'm gonna tear you to pieces." And that, like, that fill yourself with that strength of love, because if we are just every day, "Woe is me, fascism's winning, they're gonna keep winning forever, they're doing another horrible thing." Their goal is to shovel garbage onto your head every day, and they're using the algorithms that are owned by the oligarchs and the media that's owned by the oligarchs to make you feel helpless. But I actually have a confession. Sandy, I have a confession I've never talked about public, not once ever. I watch almost no news. I watch very, very little news. I do everything I can to avoid the news because the work is the same no matter what. It does not matter what Trump farts out of his stupid face every day. The work is the exact same. Put corrupt politicians in jail. Contact the same people who have that power. Push for the laws that we need. Invite others to do the same. Educate yourself and others. Act to make the world a better place. Recruit and bring others in, invite them to participate and collaborate, and then repeat that process over and over again.
You know what I really like about you, Chris, and we've talked about this too, is you have solutions, you have ideas, and there are things that everyone can do because the most common block that people have from doing something about the evil that is trying to overwhelm us is they don't know what to do. They feel like they're powerless. They aren't on a, political committee. They aren't running for office. That's not their thing. They just don't know that they can do anything to change things. But you have really simple, easy things that people can do every day that can have a powerful cumulative effect. And I would say that's the focus of almost every essay post you make. Am I right?
Well, absolutely, and I wanna mention too, part of what I need to continue to illuminate is that there are different information silos by the oligarchs, by the corporate media, where one of the silos is you're hopeless and there's nothing you can do about it. Now there's another silo, you're outraged, and we want you to take suboptimal actions to try and fight back. Okay, now, like a war powers resolution, an impeachment that can't have a conviction. A resolution is not binding. It's already illegal for Trump to start this law or this war. It's already like a resolution is just it's literally the definition of a strongly worded letter. There's nothing binding about it. It's saying we don't approve of you breaking the law. I'm sorry if that's tough to hear. And for people in the US House of Representatives and Senate, it's kind of all they can do. Impeachment, they should do it, but they're not going to get a conviction. But what the heck else are they going to do? But that's why I tell you, be an anti-fascist on your school board, be an anti-fascist on in your state house, or get them to support that, promote the laws. Like I try to give you the things where you have the most power. That's the thing, is when you contact even the nicest US House representative, who cares the most about people, gosh, is it tough to win those seats without corporate and oligarch money. You need big money to win the big seats. But at the local level, that is how the bad guys have taken over. I'm just giving I didn't invent this. I'm not a genius. I'm taking what the Republicans did to take over our country and applying it ethically so that we can use it to take our country back. That's just it. Is the media works so hard to get you focused on who's going to be president, who's running for president in 2028. You don't need to worry about who's running for president in 2028. You need to make sure that we're getting people elected to the state house and the school board and the attorney general positions and the governor's mansion who are going to be lions. They're going to say, you know, I'm actually just going to issue an executive order and we're going to form a team whose whole job is to investigate the Epstein files because we're coming after you guys because I have it in my power to fight back. And so, oh no, Sandy said she can't hear me. Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me out
I can't
there?
hear
Uh-oh.
you. I've lost sound from
Oh
you.
no. Oh no. Can anyone out there hear me? Uh-oh. I don't know if it's just Sandy. Maybe if I'm gonna turn off the What about now? Can you hear me
So
now?
others can hear you. You may just have to finish this out.
Uh-oh, you still can't hear me? I took off my
Just
headphones.
know
Uh-oh.
whatever you're saying, I love it. I just can't hear it.
I'll just No, I'm just kidding. Joking. Okay, well, we can wrap it up in the next few minutes. I can still hear you, Sandy, too, just so you know. Although she can't know because she can't hear me. Does anyone have any questions? Check out those notebooks if you can off the Existentialist Republic .com. Or just use any notebook. I'm gonna keep putting out prompts for you guys about like who am I? What are my values? Why am I an activist? How do I want to feel about my activism? Make your activism like brushing your teeth. You do it every day and it'd feel weird if you didn't. Maybe you do 2 or 3 times or 4 times a day. Maybe don't brush you got to brush soft. Not to tell people how to brush their teeth. I think a lot about stuff like that, honestly. But anyway, I can hear Sandy. Yes, I can hear Sandy. And I wish she could hear me, but I guess I'm gonna
I'm
wrap
trying
it.
to lip read.
I took off my
I'm
earbuds. I
gonna
took them
say
out.
something that, I really wanted to say when we were together because we talked about this earlier this week. A lot of inspiration, emotion, sort of, social cognizance comes to both Chris and I from music and from movies. And so, sometimes something is really moving that happens in a film. And one of the things that happened to me recently was seeing the Springsteen film that Jeremy Allen White was in. I asked Chris because he's a Jersey guy if he had seen the movie, and I had to wait. I had to wait what 2 months before you saw it. It seemed like forever. Because I had sort of a Nebraska moment after I saw it and, had sort of a realization about me and my work and why I had switched from being a mystery author to being a political writer. And that's not a total new switch. I started out as a journalist. That's what my degree is in, worked at a paper and then got the book contracts. But I think the Nebraska moment for me was that even if something doesn't make sense, if your passion is calling you, honor that. And that's what Springsteen did. That's depicted in that movie when he created the Nebraska album. And that's what I did when I moved from writing mystery books, which my neighbor still gives me trouble. She wants another one. Um, to writing politically. I mean, it was sort of full circle for me. I was a journalist, went to writing books, got a great book deal, had a great career, but something was driving my passion, and it was to, reason out, talk about, write stories about what's going on in the world and what we care about and what we can do about it. So I'll hand it back to you even though I can't hear you.
I wish you could hear me, but I'm glad I can hear you. Um, yeah, I'm gonna get another journal out to get that basic one, but just so you know, I'm super excited for you guys to get this new journal. That's gonna be filled with some of my favorite Camus quotes and like a whole list of a bunch of prompts. And also, for anyone watching right now, I have a secret. Also, I'm reading all this. Well, no, another. It's not a secret, an announcement. Um, the Discord server link, actually, I will post that really quick. Actually, I'll do it as a note. I'll do it as a note right after this, so that way you guys can see it. But if you go to T like taco, E like echo, R like Romeo, like the Existentialist Republic, TER, PAC, Papa Alpha Charlie, .org, you will find the website. You will be the first people not involved in the Existentialist Republic to visit the website for the Existentialist Republic PAC. And you could contribute. And if you contribute today, our first mission is to contact everyone, not just Republicans or not just Democrats, in the deepest red districts in America, Trump country. We're coming to Trump country, and we're going to let him know that him and the GOP have been covering up the Epstein files, and that they are destroying the economy, and that they are got us into a war with Iran. And .org, yes, TERPAC, Taco Echo, or wait, Tango, Echo, Romeo, Papa Alpha Charlie.
Hey, now you're
.org.
frozen up for me. This is a weird
Uh,
thing.
we need you
I'm
to
gonna
let us
let
know.
you finish it out, Chris, and I'm
Yeah,
just gonna watch
yeah.
you.
Sorry, Sandy. I know. I thank you so much, Sandy, for helping put this together. We're gonna have to do this again, and thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. Maybe you can even try to get in. Yes, turpack.org, and I will post back to the Discord. And please join us on the Discord. And thank you all.